£50,000. It sounds like the salary you were promised if you worked hard, got qualified, and climbed the ladder. And statistically, it is a significant milestone. But here's the question nobody asks at the point of celebration. If you're earning £50,000 a year, why does it so often feel like you're just getting by? The answer isn't about self-discipline or bad luck. It's about the gap between your gross salary and your actual financial life. And in 2026, that gap is wider than most people realize. Before anything else, let's deal with the arithmetic. In the 2026-27 tax year, the personal allowance, the amount you can earn before paying any income tax, sits at £12,570. It has been frozen since 2021 and won't rise until at least 2031. That freeze has quietly dragged millions of people into paying more tax without any headline rate ever changing. That's a topic for another video. On a £50,000 salary, here is what the deductions look like. You pay no income tax on the first £12,570. On the next £37,700, from $12,570 up to $50,270, you pay 20%, which comes to roughly $7,540. You pay no income tax on the small sliver above £50,000 because at exactly $50,000, you sit just £270 below the 40% higher rate threshold. That gap matters. Any pay rise above that threshold pulls you into higher rate territory immediately. National insurance adds another layer. Under 2026-27 rules, you pay 8% on earnings between $12,570 and $50,270, which on a £50,000 salary comes to around $3,000 in NI contributions. Now add a workplace pension. Under auto-enrollment, the minimum employee contribution is 5% of qualifying earnings. That takes roughly another $1,870 out of your gross pay, but it's your money, going into your future, not disappearing to HMRC. The result? Your estimated take-home pay is approximately £37,560 a year, around £3,130 per month. That is your starting point for everything that follows. £3,130 a month sounds comfortable. So let's check whether the national picture confirms that instinct. According to the Office for National Statistics, using their annual survey of hours and earnings, the most comprehensive salary dataset in the UK, the median full-time salary in Britain was £39,039 in April 2025. That means a £50,000 salary puts you in approximately the top 20 to 22% of full-time earners in this country. You are not in the top 10%, but you are earning more than roughly 4 in 5 full-time workers. That is worth acknowledging. £50,000 is genuinely above average. It reflects, in most cases, years of education, training, skill development, or career progression. By the raw numbers, it is a good salary. The problem isn't the salary in isolation. The problem is what it costs to live the life that a salary of this level is supposed to fund.
Here is where the picture fractures completely depending on your postcode. Let's build a realistic monthly budget for someone earning £50,000 with £3,130 to work with after tax, pension, and NI. In Sheffield, Leeds, Manchester, or most regional cities outside the southeast, a two-bedroom flat costs roughly £800 to £1,000 per month after housing, utilities, food, transport, and modest discretionary spending. This person has somewhere between £800 and £1,000 per month left. That is genuine financial breathing room. They can save, invest, and build towards property ownership. At Sheffield's average first-time buyer price of around £196,000, a 10% deposit is achievable in under 2 years. In London, the same person faces a one-bedroom flat in a reasonable Zone 2 or 3 location at around £1,800 to £2,100 per month. After housing, transport, council tax, utilities, and food, that breathing room shrinks dramatically. Many London professionals on £50,000 have under £400 a month remaining after essential costs. At London's average first-time buyer price of over £500,000, a 10% deposit on this savings rate takes more than a decade. Same salary, same tax code, two completely different financial lives. The salary doesn't change, but the geography rewrites the story entirely. So if £50,000 puts you in the top quintile of UK earners, why do so many people on this salary feel as though they're treading water? Part of it is lifestyle inflation, a predictable human tendency to expand our spending as our income rises. The car gets upgraded when the salary increases. The flat gets bigger. The restaurant meals get more frequent. None of these decisions feel like luxury at the time. Each one is justifiable in isolation, but collectively they absorb the rise before it reaches the bank balance. Part of it is the comparison trap. As income rises, the peer group tends to rise with it. The people you spend time with, the social expectations attached to certain careers, the cost of maintaining the lifestyle associated with your professional identity, all of these quietly ratchet upwards alongside the number on the payslip. And part of it is the distinction that almost no salary conversation addresses directly, the difference between income and net worth. A salary is what flows in each month. Net worth is what remains, the accumulated difference between what you own and what you owe. It is entirely possible and depressingly common to earn £50,000 every year for 20 years and have a net worth that bears no relation to that cumulative income. High earners who don't build assets are simply high-speed consumers. Financial freedom doesn't come from what you earn. It comes from the gap between what you earn and what you spend and what you do with that gap. If you want a £50,000 salary to build genuine financial security rather than simply funding a comfortable present, here are 5 practical actions that work, in order of impact. The most powerful move is maximizing your pension contributions. If you're a basic rate taxpayer, every pound you contribute via salary sacrifice costs you 80 pence in take-home pay, because you save income tax and national insurance simultaneously. On a £50,000 salary, you sit just below the 40% threshold. Increasing your pension contribution reduces your taxable income, which can keep you in the basic rate band and provide 20% tax relief on every pound contributed. If your employer matches additional contributions, that match is the closest thing in personal finance to free money. The second move is opening and contributing to a stocks and shares ISA every year. The annual ISA allowance for 2026-27 is £20,000. Inside an ISA, all investment gains and income are completely tax-free, permanently. Even £200 a month invested in a low-cost, globally diversified index fund, sustained over a decade, builds a meaningful portfolio. Time in the market consistently outperforms timing the market. Third, avoid lifestyle inflation at the point of a pay rise. If your salary increases by £2,000 a year, redirect half of that increase to your pension or ISA before it ever reaches your current account. You will not notice its absence. You will notice, in 10 years, that it compounded silently in your favor. Fourth, audit your recurring costs every 6 months, not as an act of deprivation, as an act of financial management. A subscription stack that costs £60 to £70 a month represents £800 a year. That is meaningful ISA contribution money being extracted from your finances in increments too small to trigger conscious attention. Fifth, if you're within a few years of buying a home, use a lifetime ISA if you're under 40. You get a 25% government bonus on up to £4,000 per year, £1,000 of free money annually until you use it for a first property. No other savings product offers an equivalent guaranteed return.
So, is £50,000 a good salary in the UK in 2026? By the numbers, yes. It places you in the top fifth of earners. It provides, outside London and the Southeast, enough margin to save meaningfully, invest consistently, and work towards property ownership. It is a salary most people in this country will never reach. By the felt experience, it depends entirely on what you do with it, because the uncomfortable truth about a £50,000 salary is that it is not a destination, it is a resource. And like every resource, what it produces depends on how deliberately you deploy it. A salary tells you how much flows in, net worth tells you what you have built, financial freedom tells you how long that could last without any more flowing in. 3 very different numbers. Most people know only the first. The real milestone isn't the day your payslip reads £50,000. It's the day you realize that your salary is simply the raw material and that everything else is a choice.